Most of the headlines in the last 2 days said that U.S.-backed forces in North Syria are fighting each other. Where's the problem here? It looks like the U.S. is backing two parties fighting each other.
The situation where your one ally is fighting the other when they're both supposed to be fighting ISIL and other terrorists, do you think this helps terrorists?
Do I think it helps terrorists? As I said to Arshad, I mean, if the terrorists we're talking about is Daesh, and that's principally the terrorist group that military efforts by the coalition are aimed at, these clashes that we've seen over the last 2 days are not helping us degrade and destroy Daesh as an entity any faster.
Turkey says it seized 10 villages from Kurdish control in Syria. There are reports of multiple casualties. Are the Syrian Kurds on their own now?
As I said, we continue to support the SDF, and that support's going to continue.
Yes, the U.S. had, as you're saying, the U.S. had supported Kurdish fighters, fought with them, trained them. Is Washington now doing anything or going to do anything to protect them from Erdogan, who openly states that one of his objectives in going into Syria is to go after Kurdish fighters whom he considers terrorists?
The support to the SDF is going to continue as they continue to press the fight against as they continue to press the fight against Daesh. I'm not going to speak about military hypotheticals one way or another in terms of rules of engagement. What we want to see is that these clashes between the Turkish forces and SDF forces, we want to see that come to a close, because that's not advancing the overarching goal that everybody should be focused on, which is Daesh. Again, we're engaging consistently and regularly with Turkish officials about this situation, as we are with our counterparts in the SDF. Yeah. Go to him and then
the Turkish government, from the highest level, including President Erdogan, they have openly supported FSA's attacks on the YPG. Erdogan has said, the YPG should wait for the worst to happen to them. And the YPG and SDF in general are your effective partner. Do you at least condemn Erdogan's remarks?
Look, this isn't about condemnation. This is about a genuine concern that we have that the effort against Daesh is not being assisted, not being helped, not being advanced by these clashes between Turkish forces on one hand and Syrian Democratic forces on the other.
So you're not condemning what the Turks are saying, encouraging FSA.
I'm not going to make a habit of getting up here and responding to every bit of rhetoric, as I said, that comes out of Ankara. I'm just not going to do it.
Do you get a sense that a separate war is starting within the war in Syria, and that by supporting Turkey's operations in Syria, the U.S. maybe perhaps unintentionally is supporting the beginning of that separate war within a war?
Okay, so there's a lot there. What we're supporting in terms of Turkey intervention in Syria is efforts to go after Daesh and to help preserve that section of the border, not preserve it, but to secure it, that section of the border up near Manbij, that 98 kilometers, against the flow of foreign fighters and terrorist activity, which has long been a problem. We've talked about this many, many times here in this room, and we certainly talked about it with our Turkish counterparts about the importance of securing that stretch of border, and their intervention in Syria was designed at the outset for that purpose. And so, yes, are we supportive of that purpose and that effort? Absolutely we are. As I said, these clashes over the last 2 days were not coordinated with us, and we aren't supporting them in any way. And then, I'm sorry, you had another question there. I missed it.
Do you get a sense that a separate war
is
beginning within the big
look,
war?
I mean, the effort, there's two primary efforts that everybody, we believe, the international community needs to focus on in Syria. One is the fight against Daesh. We've talked about that now over the last 10, 15 minutes of the briefing. The other one is, of course, the diplomatic effort to end the civil war. And as the Secretary has said, and we were just in Geneva having a day-long meeting with our Russian counterparts about how to advance towards that goal. But as the Secretary has said himself, there are many conflicts that are happening inside Syria. There is the international fight against Daesh. There has been tensions between Turkey and Russia. There have been, obviously, there's tensions between Turkey and the Kurds. There's Shia-Sunni tensions. Not every opposition group espouses all the same objectives. And then you have Al-Qaeda in Syria, represented by al-Nusra, that continues to pose a significant challenge to our ability to advance a peaceful solution. So there are many conflicts inside the broader war inside in Syria, and we're as focused as much as we can on working our way through that.
With the situation being already complicated, as you described, do you think Turkey's operations are making it even more complicated?
As I said earlier, these clashes over the last couple of days are not helping us advance the efforts against Daesh. Okay?
You continue
Michelle,
to support both
Michelle.
sides, is that correct?
Most of the headlines in the last 2 days said that U.S.-backed forces in North Syria are fighting each other. Where's the problem here? It looks like the U.S. is backing two parties fighting each other.
Michelle, the support that we've been given to fighters inside Syria has been in the realm of helping them as they fight Daesh. And so you're talking about a dynamic here that's just developed over the last several days. And but prior to that, were we supporting groups of fighters that were going against Daesh in Syria? Absolutely, we were, and we've talked about that many, many times. And as I think I answered quite a few times here, we were in support of efforts by Turkey to help secure that stretch of the border in Syria. But these clashes that we've seen are not helping us as a coalition advance the efforts against Daesh.